We are Geeking Out Ninjas, and we're here to geek out. And as you can tell, things are a little different this week. It is obviously me, Craig, as normal. But for those who can't see, my wife, Melissa, is joining. Jeremiah is not able to do the show this week, so we thought we'd change it up and see what happens.
Hello. I found out about this maybe 20 minutes ago, so I'm just going to preface with that. But I'm here to geek out as well. I'll probably have a lot of questions because I do not understand this language, but go ahead.
I think it'll be interesting to see if Melissa adds a lot to the conversation or not.
I can tell you right now I won't.
You could provide a different insight than maybe we're not used to hearing.
What are they talking about insight? But go ahead. All right.
No, I feel like, the layman's insight into things. I think she always, as it is, gives me notes on maybe I should explain things more to make it a little easier for people to understand. So I think she'll bring that to the show live for this episode. And yeah.
It's like that Michael Scott episodes, like The Office. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Maybe explain it to me like I'm 3 because I don't know.
There is a subreddit called ELI5, which is explain it like I'm 5.
Oh, okay. Well, then
So
there you go.
this will be...
Joke's on you. I'm the president. Sorry.
I had no idea you were on Reddit.
Yeah, I'm not.
So do you have anything new that you want to talk about this week?
Anything new? Meghan Markle came out with a new thing today, and I was all about it.
Oh, really?
Yes, with their Archwell audio because she's turning 40. She's joining, and so
she's joining the 40 Club.
She's joining the 40 Club. Yep. And so she's doing a thing.
What's new with you?
What's new with me? Oh, nothing. All of our kids are sick. So
yeah,
that's been fun.
We went to the doctor as a family today.
Craig sat up on the little thing along with all the children.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It was a good time.
Yeah, but we thought they had COVID because their teacher tested positive, and I, of course, freaked out. And then they started getting sick, so I had to go, and I made an appointment right away. Turns out, not COVID. They have RSV.
Yeah.
So that's just been fun all around.
First time RSV has been a good thing.
Yes, that is true. Yeah. Never thought I would be praying for RSV, but here we are. Anyways, but yeah, so that's about it. That's all that's going on.
She has other stuff going on. She just doesn't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. I'm like what?
What do I have going on?
I know.
I've forgotten so much since earlier.
Let's see. I mean, tonight I tested the pH in our aquarium.
Woo! Watch out, world.
Hot girl summer coming.
Trying to keep fish alive. So I went and saw The Green Knight, which I was super excited about before it came out. Dev Patel is the star of the movie. If you're not familiar with him. If you've seen Slumdog Millionaire like a long time ago, Dev Patel is the guy who is on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He's the one who wins the $1 million.
Spoiler!
And it's essentially his life story in Slumdog Millionaire. But
is it really?
Not like real. I mean, it's his life that you're watching throughout the movie to get to that point to explain how he knows the answers to the questions.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Oh my goodness. It's a good movie.
Okay.
If you have not seen it, Melissa, you should probably go watch that.
Yeah.
Anyways, not relevant to The Green Knight other than it stars Dev Patel, who is a great actor. Love a lot of things that he's in.
He's also very handsome.
He is also a handsome guy. And
you wanted my
I'll take whatever I can get.
Okay. Okay.
Not in that way. That was weird.
That was odd.
Anyways, The Green Knight. So it is an Arthurian legend based on a poem from about 700 years ago. J.R.R. Tolkien did an adaptation, I think, in like the 20s. And it was most recently, I think, readapted in like 2018. It was pretty good. I must say. It's definitely not your like action-packed film. So if that's what you're looking for out of an Arthur movie of any kind, it's not that. Um, it's definitely more introspective, um, a slower paced movie, but it definitely draws you in to the story and his journey, and is very, very fascinating. I don't want to give too much away because if you are interested in watching it, I feel like talking about too much. Um, I've read so much about this since I saw it because it's fascinating. I've read more about the poem and more about the movie and how they're similar and how they're different.
Did you read the poem after the movie?
I have not read the poem yet.
Well,
yeah, I know. Who am I?
Yeah.
But I'll probably end up reading it. I think it will probably help enlighten me a little bit more. I'm trying to decide which version I'll read. That's why I brought up the two versions.
English. I'm just kidding.
Yes. But it was a really good movie. I do recommend it. If you're looking for an action movie, probably not going to be for you. But if you like other kinds of movies, definitely one to go see.
I will say that when I saw the trailer, I really did want to go see it, and I hope to see it sometime soon. I just don't know when that will be, but it did look very good.
And it was.
Good.
I feel like I'm only getting half of you in the video.
Well,
You're kind of off to the side.
If you see me now, I look like I have ears on top of my bun because of your hats.
Yeah.
So I know, and it just makes me kind of go like this. So sorry.
For those who are listening, you have no idea what she's talking about.
Yes.
Go watch the YouTube video.
I'm very distracted by my hair right now, so I'm sorry. I apologize.
She's got a bun, and there are hats on either side of the bun, so it looks like she's got like
double horns,
dog ears,
or dog ears.
Yeah, I say dog ears.
Oh my gosh, I'm starting to get this.
They're at full attention. Anyways, so other things that have been going on with me, I have been scanning photos. I know if you've been following this show for a while. I think on our first episode, I talked about my top 3 favorite things that I got in 2020. One of them was a scanner.
Who gave it to you?
My wife gave it to me.
That's right, I did.
It's gonna be a slight disappointment for you at the end of this story.
I know. I got mad.
So I've been scanning all of the photos, like my parents' photos. So there's just, I don't even know how many photos. It's thousands of photos.
I will tell you, you walk into his office and there are just piles.
Boxes
and albums and all the stuff that he's trying to scan in and catalog everything, which I love because it kind of makes him a little bit of a historian, but it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. I've actually had these boxes in my house, I think, for 9 years. So I've had a flatbed scanner for a really long time, and it scans really well. It's an Epson V700, and it's one of the better flatbed scanners you can buy. And so I started scanning photos that way, and I have probably about 1,000 photos scanned in that way, and it works like I said really well. It's just slow, and so I kind of lost interest after it taking so long to scan photos, and I've always been looking for another way to scan things faster. So I finally found what I thought was a really good scanner that would feed the photos through. You could put like 100 or probably not 100, but maybe like 50 photos at a time, of all the same size, like a 4x6 or a 5x7, and it would scan them all, and you could just kind of just sit there and wait for them to come out, and you just have a bunch of files on your computer. Well, as in the process of scanning, I noticed that some of them were a little sketchy on the quality, and I was like, that's probably not a big deal. But
That's foreshadowing.
Yeah, but as I scanned more, I started to get to some of the photos that I had scanned previously, just because there's some overlap in what I was scanning, because I don't remember everything that I scanned. And so I started to compare to the flatbed scanner, and the quality is nowhere near as good. The resolution is so much better on the flatbed scanner. You could blow these things up and actually make a good quality print out of them, compared to the feeder scanner, which I don't even know how to describe it. It doesn't look good. I think
there's a lot more noise in the photos. I think
there's a lot more noise, but it does weird artifacting in dark scenes as well. There's not as much resolution there, even though I told it to scan at a really high DPI, which is just a resolution. It's just really disappointing, because I had gotten through, I think, like 8 boxes of photos with this feeder scanner, and I was so excited. I was like, oh man, I finally tackled this huge project that I've been working on for like 9 years.
Because I think you only had like one more box to go or something.
I had one more box to go, and I am now starting back over with the flatbed scanner. So for those that are interested, the other scanner is an Epson FF-680W. That's the feeder scanner. If you are not super picky about quality, like I am, I just like things a certain way.
He is a perfectionist.
To a fault.
That's why he married me.
And
sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think if you're not looking for that high of a quality, it is a really good scanner, and it'll do a lot of photos really quickly. So I would recommend.
And if you're looking for one, ours is now currently for sale.
Ours is now for sale, if you are interested. But yeah, that's what I've been spending the last couple weeks on, and that's my disappointment of the month. But yeah.
So yeah, anything else going on besides that?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Do you have
think
anything coming up that you're looking forward to?
What?
No,
I feel like this is a leading question.
it's
I
not.
don't have the answer to whatever you're leading to.
No, I'm just wondering if there's anything coming up that you're looking forward to.
No.
Okay, cool. Just want to let you know that we'll be celebrating our 10-year anniversary next month, but that's okay.
That's like in a month and a half. That's not like coming up like this week.
Just keeping this podcast,
Yeah, that was a leading question that I was sure gonna fail.
Actually, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about your dad's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Which is tomorrow.
My dad's birthday is tomorrow. He is turning 70. And it's also my nephew's birthday, who is turning 16.
Yeah.
2 really big birthdays. Both born on the same day. 54 years apart. So happy birthday to them. And hope to see you tomorrow. Which, if you're watching this or listening, was Thursday, August 5th. So... we should get through some of these normal things before we get into the news. But
is this a pre-cap? Is that...
I can do the pre-cap.
Okay.
Pre-cap. Disney Star Wars Hotel. Do you want to stay there? Are you looking to get a new phone in the fall? The Pixel 6 could be your new phone. And are you looking to not have a camera on the front of your phone, but still have it there?
That makes no sense, but
yes, it will.
I'm into it.
It will. And our main topic of the evening, we'll talk about, and I promise this will be super interesting, regardless of the title, breached databases. So how your information is exposed when hackers not necessarily even get into your system, but get into the systems of other companies. So whenever other companies have data breaches, we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm curious how my wife is going to contribute to this. That'll be the most interesting, I feel, part of that conversation. But if you are looking to follow us, check us out at geekingoutninjas.com, as well as follow us on any of your podcasting platforms. If you're on the Apple Podcasts, please like us on there. That really helps us out. As well as find us on YouTube, Geeking Out Ninjas, and subscribe. Maybe put the bell on. Leave us some comments. Let us know how we're doing.
Let me know how good I'm doing today.
Yes. And I'm working on a Discord as well. So
what is that? I don't know what that is.
We'll have more information about that. But that is it's kind of like a messaging platform, but it's like a way for like a group of people to join. I want to say it's like a message board where people...
Like a Slack? Like Slack?
Kind
of, sort of?
Sure, we'll call it like a Slack. You can put a bunch of information in there. We can have chats with everybody. You can leave comments in there. But I'll have more information soon about that. And now on to the news.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Old time radio news.
Because I'm old.
So, first story up. Disney's Star Wars hotel is just like Westworld, only for the wealthy / also for people who like to save for vacations for years. Because you're going to have to. Let's just get this right out on the top. 2 nights for 2 people to stay at the immersive galactic Star Cruiser will start at a mere $4,809. This will be a vacation to save for if you want to be fully immersed in all things Star Wars and Disney.
I will say, when I first read it, I was like, oh, we're so going to do this. And then I saw the, I guess, trailer.
Yeah, there's like
there's like a trailer preview.
It's a 30-second spot.
Yes, and I watched it, and what was the one thing that I said?
She immediately said, "This is for nerds."
And I was like, "Oh, this is for nerds." But I think the premise is cool. I really do, and I think it would be really fun if this is something like, you are. I mean, it's like full, like they compare it to Westworld. So yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
So it's got to be good.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think I think it'd be fun, and if people want to save and do it, and I think that's smart on them, smart on Disney, but.
Yeah, I honestly think it is really priced very high. I know why they price it that high, because people are going to pay that. And also, that's the base price. That's for like the cheap cabin. You start getting in probably to like nicer cabins. Who knows how much it's going to cost? This
is a hotel. It's like, when I hear cabin, I think like a cruise. Is it a cruise or is it a cabin?
So
I'm confused.
It is a cabin. And it doesn't say it in the article, but I would liken this to like a cruise ship almost.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
And the way it's immersive. So you're essentially immersed in this quote unquote world of Star Wars for these 2 nights. And you'll be brought along for stories. You'll complete role playing with staff who will ask for your help on quests or factions that you'll be able to join during your trip. You'll be able to dress in Star Wars outfits.
Which apparently, I did not know this until I read this article, that I did not know that if you go to Disney as an adult, you are really not allowed to dress in costume.
Which is kind of weird, but I guess they have their reasons why.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be cool as in almost like a live performance interactive experience. I know that's just like a bunch of buzzwords together, but I honestly think to me it's probably a little overpriced for me, but I think a lot of people will get a lot of enjoyment out of this because you will be the way Disney does things, they'll really immerse you in the world, and they'll put you in the story. So I will mention that this also, the price also covers, I think, half a day at the Star Wars. Oh my God.
It says 2 days worth of tickets at Disney parks.
Yeah, but I think it's half a day.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's
half of the 2 days is okay. So half of one of the 2 days is dedicated to visiting Galaxy's Edge and riding the 2 rides that have been open for months already. But apparently, you'll be able to continue your storyline in the existing from the park into the ship. And by the ship, I mean the hotel. So kind of interesting there. And we'll really see what.
I mean, if you'd like to sponsor our trip, we are taking donations, and
we would totally do an episode.
Yeah.
Or some sort of live video, or just record some stuff of us going.
We'll report back. I promise. We'll put your money to really good use.
Totes. This also includes food and drink and admission to Hollywood Studios Park for a day to visit the Galaxy's Park. Or Galaxy's Edge Park. And parking score.
Excellent.
Because you don't want to park your cruiser and have to pay for it later. All right. So, next story. The Pixel 6 has been made official by Google, which is kind of interesting. They announced it, but it's not on sale, and they didn't give all the information.
Which is funny because even in this article, it says teaser website, but when you go, it's like, oh no,
it's the wrong link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This, if you're watching, this is what it looks like. I think the biggest feature of the phone is the camera bar on the back. So normally, you have like the iPhones, for instance, it's just like a square on the left-hand side of the phone, with like 3 lenses in there, which kind of looks lopsided in my opinion. My phone's the same way. I have a Pixel 5, so it's got that same lopsided bump on the left side. But this is like a bar that goes all the way across the back, so it's a very even look. And so to me, the benefit to that is when you put your phone down on a table and you want to actually type on it, it's not like wobbling, which may not be a big deal for people who have cases. But
I was gonna say
I feel like for people who don't use cases, that's a big annoyance. To me, the biggest thing that this announcement brings, obviously, the phones have been designed to be a little bit better, I think, design-wise than Google has done in the past. But I think the biggest thing is that Google is finally making their own processors / chips for the phone, which Apple has been doing since like almost the beginning, if not the beginning. I don't remember exactly when they started doing it, which allows Google to do a bunch of things. It's going to make their phones even faster, even better, because they're fully integrated with. They're in charge of everything from the hardware all the way up to the software, instead of relying on somebody else to make the processor. They're involved in that, and so they can optimize the software a little bit better.
I have a question. This is going to actually pertain to your podcast last week, where if you had Apple or something like that, and you talk about John Deere and all that stuff, about them, only they could fix your phones or stuff like that. With this happening and them starting to make the processors and things like that, do you see this going the same way to where Google can only fix it?
No.
I just feel like that was a really good question.
No, it's a good question. I don't think it'll change anything in that regard necessarily. As it stands right now, Google lets iFix it as not iFixit. Ubreak iFix is the company that they outsource to fix all their devices. So you really mostly go through them anyways, which I think is fine for the most part. But Google is actually pretty good about letting you fix your own phone. They don't have a problem with it, as far as I know. So this won't, in my opinion, make things worse. In fact, it should make things better in a couple different ways. obviously the software being faster, like I mentioned, but this one will also allow Google to offer software updates for longer.
Mm-hmm.
So right now they're limited to about 3 years to offer software updates.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because Qualcomm, who makes all of the chips for all Android phones, pretty much all Android phones, they only support chips for like 3 years.
Mm.
And after that, they stop supporting it because, they're not making any money
Right.
by not selling processors and chips and
Right.
things like that. So they want these things to go away. Google, on the other hand, now can support the phones for 5 years, 6 years, like Apple's already been doing for forever. I mean, you can still update an iPhone 6, I think, to the latest version of iOS. So for Google to be able to do the same thing, I think is a huge deal for them. This is one of the reasons why they are doing this, really, is because they never got Qualcomm to get on board to let them update the phones, which is kind of annoying for a customer. Like my mom, for instance, her phone's 3 years old, or 3.5 years old now. It's a Pixel 2 XL, and she doesn't get software updates anymore because they're just not supporting it. But now, if she were to get a phone, this year or next year, there's a good chance she could have it for the next 5-6 years, and not have to worry about it not being supported or not having security fixes pushed out for it. So I think it's just going to make phones more secure and just better overall.
So the main change for this new phone is this camera, the new camera thing, and then the switching out of the chips.
I mean, those are the two big things that they really announced. So the cameras, there's going to be 3 cameras on the phone. They're kind of going in the same model that everybody else has been going in. It's going to include a 4x telephoto, a base model camera, just like everybody has. And then there's going to be a wide angle camera as well. So I think that'll be pretty much standard on what everybody's been doing for a while. But I think it'll be a huge deal for Google to finally get back into making really good phones. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be one to watch if you're looking for a new phone and you don't always buy iPhones.
Are you going to get it?
I buy one every year.
So this is a dumb question.
So I think I've gotten every single Pixel phone that's come out. I think I got a Pixel 1, Pixel 2, Pixel 3, Pixel 4, Pixel 5. So
yes, continue on this trend.
I'm the guy who buys the new phone every year. I know people are like, hey, you gotta keep your phone for like 2 years. Do I? But yeah, this is just more images of the phone. I think it's a good move by Google, and it's going to be a good move for customers. So I think all around it'll be good.
It looks pretty.
Yeah, I think the next version of Android is going to be pretty interesting as well. I haven't really talked about it too much, if at all, on the podcast, but
because they did their beta thing that came out, right?
Yeah, so the beta is out right now, and you can load it on certain phones. But one of the cool things that it does is when you put your background on your phone, it's going to allow you, or it's not going to.
Sorry about that brief intermission. Our children decided they needed us for a second.
It's not really an intermission for you because I paused the recording. So yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. Some of the people who have tried it out have really enjoyed just the color changing aspect of it. You can set it to be static to a specific set of colors, or you can let the phone change those colors every time the phone reboots or powers off.
Have you done the beta?
No, I don't. Oh, okay. I don't like doing the betas.
Oh, okay. Right.
Just because there's a lot you have to do, and
Yeah.
To me, it's not worth it.
You used to though, right?
Yeah, if I had another phone, I would totally do it, but I don't want to mess up my regular day-to-day phone.
Day-to-day. Okay.
I'm not rich enough to have 2
2
phones.
I literally thought you were gonna say like, unless you're gonna let me buy another phone, I'm be like, nope, ain't doing that.
I always buy the phones with my own money, so
yeah, I know.
It's not out of our shared pool of money.
But remember, in our vows, it's our money. So I'm just kidding. Anyways, all right, next.
Yeah. So next story is talking about Starliner. This is not to be confused with anything that SpaceX is doing with the Starship or anything like that. So Starliner is another manned aircraft that they are trying to send into space. And by them, I mean Boeing and NASA, and I think ULA, United Launch Alliance, which is another group of space companies. So they've been trying to launch this thing for, I think, almost 2 years now.
Jeez, that's a long time.
Yeah, so the first time they launched, they ran into so many problems that they had to seriously rewrite a lot of the software behind the whole the whole spaceship. It was close to being catastrophic.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm assuming that they're testing it before they put people in there.
Yeah, so this is another test.
Okay.
At first, when they first had the anomalies and that happened, they were just going to say, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to let you go. But then everybody started kind of being like, whoa, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. And so NASA really dug into it, and they were like, this software is really poorly written and has so many problems. Mm. And so they've had to rewrite it. It's taken a really long time. And SpaceX has kind of taken the forefront with sending astronauts to space. I think they've already sent 3 separate crews to space. Mm-hmm. I think they have at least 1 or 2 more for this year where they're going to send more astronauts to space. So this is, they really have to work around that schedule to get these, to get this spacecraft into space. But they just had another setback.
So
they were supposed to test fly on Tuesday, but they ran into an issue, and at first they were thinking it was just weather related, and after a while they realized no, there's actually a problem with the vehicle. Unexpected valve position indications, which they're not sure if that means something is actually wrong with the valves or if this is just a weird sensor reading. So they've got to read through all the data. These things are insane in how much information that they put out during launch. Not just Starliner, but pretty much all spacecrafts at this point. There's so much information that you can comb through to find out exactly what's going on. Mm-hmm. I'm always amazed. On an exploding rocket, they can figure out what caused it to explode.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
I can't even imagine.
But yeah, so they are, they're going to try really hard to figure out exactly what's going on. And if they can get it in before, I think, the 28th of August, and there's only certain windows that they can send aircraft to space, just because of how...
Because there's only 2 docking stations.
Well, obviously, getting things to the International Space Station is one thing, but also there's only so many openings essentially in the atmosphere to get you through at the specific time and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to really dig into that. But yeah, so if they don't get this off soon, there's a good chance it may be postponed into 2022.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine all of your hard work and then it's like, oh, we missed the window. Guess what? We're going to have to wait another. Like, oh my, I would be like, you know what? I'm getting another job. I'm going to go work for SpaceX.
I'm going to start a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
And talk about engineering. Like Mark Rober.
Yeah. What?
If you don't watch his videos on YouTube, I highly suggest you do. My daughter loves the videos, by the way.
They're not, I mean, they're just so entertaining, and it's not like fluff. It really is like, I just, whenever I watch him, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so smart. Like, and then it makes me start like digging into the topic that he's talking about, and he makes it fun for the kids too.
Yeah, my daughter really enjoys it, so I think it's fun for
Yeah.
probably kids over
Our
5.
daughter?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said my daughter.
Oh.
I'm like, our daughter.
Well, I'm used to talking.
I know, but you're
not
right.
used to you being on the show. So yeah, I think check him out. But yeah, that was just like a little.
Yes. But yeah,
He
no.
used to work for NASA.
But yeah, I think that if I were going through all of this and I was putting so much, like, essentially my life's work into this, and they're like, oh, sorry, we missed the launch window, I'd be pretty ticked off.
Yeah.
So that's just me, though.
So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that and see if they ever launch Starliner into space.
Yeah.
The next story, the Google store has mistakenly revealed some new Nest hardware. So most people probably don't know this, but they discontinued a bunch of their Nest cameras on the Google store recently, and everybody was like, okay, obviously they're going to announce new cameras in the fall whenever they do their hardware event. But apparently Google just wanted to leak everything this week and put out some new cameras on the store accidentally for a short amount of time, and then they immediately pulled it back down. It's kind of...
Someone's gonna get fired.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Or it was a PR stunt. One of the two.
It could be either one.
Yeah.
It could be one of those, like, let's gauge everybody's interest.
Whoops, accidentally.
Yeah. To me, it wouldn't be the first time Google's done that. I
Yeah.
feel like they have a tendency to...
Google's version of a nudie pic.
Yeah, right? Ooh, scantily clad cameras.
Woo, did you see this camera? My bad.
So, some of the new cameras are a new Nest Cam, outdoor or indoor use that is battery powered, which has been something that they've severely lacked. All of their cameras required being plugged into a power outlet, which, I'm sure a lot of people don't want to plug their camera into an outlet. We've been fortunate, and we had someone install outlets in our attic for our Nest cameras, but yeah, it's not something everybody can do. So I'm sure that was a big turnoff for a lot of people. So that's a good addition for them. Really helps them compete against other manufacturers like Ring and
I will
other
say
companies.
I like this Nest Cam with the floodlights, because then you can, obviously this is for outdoor,
Yeah,
but I definitely like that aspect.
I like that one because my guess is that that's probably hardwired into power, so that we actually have floodlights on the outside of our house.
Like all over.
Yeah,
Our
so-
house is like Fort Knox.
So you could just replace a normal floodlight or another light with this, and just connect to Wi-Fi and have the lights, and then you never have to worry about it,
Yeah.
like ever again, battery or power or anything like that. So
That's smart.
there's a couple other companies I think are doing the same thing, but this is like a great way to do this, to where you can just hardwire it directly into your house power. The other one, they have a new Nest Cam, a new one that's indoor. This one is wired, so I'll have two different options for that. This one looks like it's meant to be sitting on like a table or something, but I would imagine you could probably still mount it like their old school Nest Cams. So we'll see.
And I will say, as somebody who, my husband was an early, I like to say he's an early adopter of all things technology. He's like, we need to get this, all this stuff. And I am one that like drags my feet. I'm like, we'll see. And he had been bugging me for a very long time. We need to get cameras. And I was like, no, we're fine. And then lo and behold, someone broke into our house, and I literally told him that day, I was like, get the cameras, get all the cameras.
Yeah,
And so
we have a bunch of cameras now.
yeah, so but it's just, when you think about it, it's like, because I think that some people will look at this, and while it's not so expensive, but to some people it may be, I'm like, but you never, because that's what it was for me. I was like, for all the cameras that he wanted to put on, it was like $600 something like that, and I was like, what? I was like, we do not need this. Our house is we live on a hill. I was like, nobody's gonna break into our house. Famous last words. And so that's what happened. And so then I was like, buy all the cameras.
Anybody's house can be broken into. I think the
This is
best
true.
thing about
I had a false sense of security.
the best thing about having the cameras, though, is we have one in our living room, which covers like a bunch of doors and windows and things like that. But what's great about it is that since we have little kids, we've caught so many moments, like first steps and first words and things like that, that we wouldn't necessarily have gotten just because that camera lives in the living room.
Yeah.
So for that, I mean, it's pretty awesome to be able to get all of that.
That is true.
All those videos and moments. So
He's still sentimental.
I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
One of the other things that they unofficially announced was a new, I thought it was on this page, may have been on a different one, is a new doorbell. So this doorbell, instead of being wired like their current Nest doorbell, this one will be battery powered, which another thing that they're kind of just filling in gaps in their camera lineup, if you will. So another good addition. I kind of was hoping that they would have announced more stuff, but I mean, obviously they didn't really announce this, so I'm curious.
Remember, this is their new. This is just a tease.
This is the tease, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the nip slip.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see how much these cost, what they include, because they had the Nest Cam IQs for a long time, which have extra features over the Nest Cams. I'm curious if all of these will have those Nest Cam IQ features, which I'd imagine they would. The IQ features allow you to program in people so it knows who is in there. If it doesn't know somebody, it alerts you differently. And when they ring the doorbell, it'll say their name if you've programmed that into the system. Things like that. So some really cool bonuses.
Yeah, it says like unfamiliar face.
Also tells you when packages are at the door and things like that. So I would imagine that they're probably going to include that standard now. But who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's all the things that Google accidentally leaked this week. The last bit of news, which we've talked about this on the show before, but this was kind of like when we talked about it before, is a first generation, like proof of concept sort of deal. And it was by a different company. So this company, Oppo, is announcing quote unquote next generation under display selfie camera. I honestly think this is the future of front facing cameras. What's great about it is that you don't see the camera. You see your display is all display. You don't have that weird cutout. You don't have like notches like you have on the iPhone, which is a pretty huge cutout of the phone.
So it's kind of like the frame TV, almost. Like same kind of, no?
I wouldn't call it that. I mean, it'd be like our TV is the same thing as... I think the frame TV just makes it look like a TV's in a frame.
Yeah, well, no,
it's not like...
I guess my thought is like when it says like you can't see like the thing, that's what I think of. Okay, never mind. I'll just be sitting here in the corner because I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, that's not what the frame TV. The frame TV is really just a TV that has a frame around it, so it looks like you could be hanging a piece of art or something.
Right.
But this it really turns the whole front of your screen into a screen.
I see.
You don't have any sort of visible camera whatsoever, but it's under the display, and they've gotten it to where. Hold on. All right. I had a kid interrupt. I don't remember what I was saying because it's been several minutes for me. But the quality is pretty decent. There are still some weird color issues.
It definitely looks like it has like a filter, like a blur filter on it.
Yes. Well, I mean, they could be putting some sort of filter on the camera. Who knows? But it's a decent camera quality for a second generation, and I think in the next 2 to 3 years, this will be almost like a regular selfie camera is now. Yeah. I don't think you'll be able to tell a difference whatsoever. So you'll get all of your screen and not have some weird camera cutout or notch on your phone. So I think it's it's pretty nice, and
it's where the technology is headed, essentially.
Yeah, I mean it's great to be able to see everything on your screen and not have something that's kind of blocking part of your view. And now to our main topic of the evening.
Something that I have been dreading because my husband's going to call me out.
I'll try not to too much. But the life cycle of a breached database. I know that doesn't sound super fascinating. But so
I feel like we hear about them all the time.
we hear about data breaches all the time from different companies. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, sorry, our database
Yeah.
has been breached and your personal information may have been compromised.
Yeah. At this point, I just feel like everybody's got my information. Like, I mean, no matter. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. If you are alive, your data has been compromised. Mm-hmm. Just assume it has. Your password has probably been compromised, especially if you use the same password for everything.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. All your information is out there. If you do that, please get a password manager. 1Password, LastPass. There's a bunch of different ones out there. Get it. Put all your passwords in there, and then change all your passwords and save them in there.
And the good thing about those things too is that once you upload all your passwords and everything like that, it will tell you. It'll say like, "Hey, this is vulnerable." And it'll tell you like you've used it on a different site. You know.
Yeah, not all of them. So we use 1Password, and 1Password lets you know if a particular site has had a data breach, and it you should change your password. Mm-hmm. If it has found a specific password on like the dark web or something like that, it'll let you know. Oh. It'll let you know if it gives you a lot of insight into your passwords. It'll let you know if you're using the same password on multiple websites. It'll suggest that you change them. And it will also tell you if the site that you have saved is not encrypted, which means your data could be stolen while you're on that website. So it does a lot to try and help protect your passwords as well as your information.
I have a question.
Yeah. We haven't really got into the topic yet.
No, but I already have a question. The dark web. I guess like just where does one find, like, do you just Google dark web? Like, I mean, where is it? What is it? Like, I don't understand the dark web, I guess.
I am not going to go into the dark web in this episode. Okay. I feel like I could do like a whole podcast on just the dark web.
Fantastic. Stay tuned for our next one, where I ask all the questions about the dark web. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so going into the main topic. So every time there's a data breach, everybody's always telling you should probably change your password. Mm-hmm. Not probably, you should definitely change your password. But the reality is, most of the time, the organization that is disclosing that information to you has done it so late that your password's already leaked everywhere. It doesn't really matter. And cyber criminals are already using your information somewhere else. This article that I'm kind of going through says passwords are the fossil fuel powering most IT modernization. They're ubiquitous, which means they're everywhere, because they are cheap and easy to use, but that means they also come with significant trade-offs, such as polluting the internet with weaponized data when they're leaked or stolen in mass, which is true. It's once your password has been compromised, all your information's likely to have been stolen from not just that website, but any website that your information is on, or that you share a password with on another website. So when a website has their database compromised, that information in that database ends up on hacker forums, where people with computer rigs that are used for like mining Bitcoin and other virtual currency can then change what they're doing. They can go from mining Bitcoin to cracking passwords and cracking what is called password hashes, which is how your passwords are stored on websites or in databases, actually. Most of them are stored in a fairly weak hash. I don't want to get too much into that because I feel like that's maybe too much in the weeds. But the thing is, there are tons of people mining Bitcoin and other virtual currency. To them, cracking your password or getting into these password hashes that are stored in databases takes like 2 days, maybe maximum. So that's why it's important to have different passwords on every single website, because once your information is there, 2 days later, that they have your password, and they can then take that password and probably your username and or email as part of that information as well. They'll just scan a bunch of different websites and figure out if your password and email or username match on all these other websites. Which then, if you're using it for your bank, if you're using it for your email, if you're using it for Amazon, if you're using it for other places to shop, that means they have free reign over your credit card information, and they can buy pretty much whatever they want to. So it's so easy, it's scary. Once your information is out there. I cannot say this enough. Please do not have the same password on multiple websites, because it is game over.
Yes. I will say, when we switched over to LastPass, Craig,
When I switched over to 1Password.
Oh, sorry. When we switched over to 1Password, he was going through, he was helping me set it all up and stuff, and he got so mad. I mean, like, I thought it was comical because I don't know all of this backstory stuff, like all this stuff. He was like, no, it is not. You do not have the same. Melissa, it was like for like probably 50 things, if not more.
I think it was more than that.
Yeah, it was more than that.
Every website was the same password, including her bank website.
Which has now changed.
They're all different now, thanks to me, because I went through every single one and changed every single one.
And I could tell with each one, it was like I can't believe she, like, after being married for 10 years, how is she still doing this? Because I had been doing it for, probably 20 years. And it's hard to break that cycle, I think.
It's hard. Well, it's hard for people to not just go to a website, put their email address, and then the same password that they use for everything.
Yeah.
You have to have a password manager at this point. You cannot survive on the internet if you do not have a password manager. I mean, you can survive, but your information is everybody's.
And I will say this. Also, things I did not know until, I married this man. When they have your security questions and it's like, type your own security question, always do that. Always type your own security question. Don't ever answer the typical ones that they have, because all your info is out there anyways.
Most places don't let you type your own. What I usually recommend doing, and this is part of having a password manager, I just answer random answers, and then I save the question and the answer in the password manager, and just like the notes field or something like that. So that way it's not something someone could figure out about me, because it's not an answer that I would ever answer correctly. Like I have one question for not even a website, but it's for an account that is essentially like, what was your nickname growing up? And it's not, and my answer is not my nickname at all. It's just a random thing that I thought up. And really that is the safest way to answer those questions, is just random information and then save it in the password manager. So that just goes to show you how using the same password is a really terrible idea, because your information, once they have your password and email,
it's game over.
It's game over for everything, because you probably have the same password and email for everything. The more insidious threat with hacked databases comes not from password reuse, but from targeted phishing activity instead. So what's interesting about this, and I deal with this at work all the time, is so once someone has your email address from a data breach, they will then, and you're probably wondering, how did all these people have my email address? How am I getting all of these weird emails that are asking me to, correct or fix my Amazon password or get cash back or whatever? the reason is they're getting your email from these data breaches, and then it's a block of emails, probably like a million emails or something, and then they're emailing everybody at the same time with the same link, and they're hoping like 1% of those people click the link that they're putting in email and password, or or it's even worse, and they're getting you to type in your credit card information or something to do who knows what, to get cash back by putting in your credit card information. Phishing emails are they're really good nowadays.
I was gonna say, at first it was like, help, I'm abroad, and or that Nigerian prince that needs your help or whatever. Now it looks so slick. They all look so slick, and they look so...
Well, the crazy thing is, based on these data breaches as well, they probably have transaction information from you from the last time you bought something at whatever company they got this information from. So they'll send you valid information about your previous purchases. They know a lot from these data breaches, and that's what makes it super scary, because they can trick you because the information is real to a certain point. Here are some tips to kind of avoid letting these targeted phishing attacks, or phishing attacks in general, from essentially screwing up your life. Don't click on links and attachments in emails. Even if your bank is emailing you and 100% sure that it is an email from your bank, don't click on it. Type in the bank website name into your browser. Go to the bank that way. Same thing with Amazon. If Amazon's all of a sudden is like, hey, here's this gift card, all you have to do is type in your information or log in and you're good to go. Don't do that. Go to Amazon directly and check your account. I can almost 100% guarantee you nobody's giving you a free gift card just randomly. So don't click emails and attachments in emails, especially if you don't know who it's from. Even if you know who it's from, a lot of times someone's probably hacked into their email. I see it all the time. I work in IT. I've dealt with it. It's not worth it. So last thing I want to say about clicking links and attachments in emails. If you're not sure about an attachment or a link from a person that you know, call them. I bet they want to hear from you, especially if they are somehow sending out spam email. They definitely want to find out so that they can change their password. But if you're at work, ask your IT guy. I can almost 100% guarantee that they would rather you ask them if a message is malicious than have you click on it and then you take out the whole network and take down the company.
Because that happens.
Coming from an IT guy, I promise they want to know. Another thing, urgency should be a giant red flag. Most phishing scams invoke a temporal element that warns of negative consequences should you fail to respond or act quickly.
Dun dun dun.
Take a deep breath. If you're unsure whether the message is legitimate, visit the site or service in question manually. Just like I said, do not click the link. Go directly to the website. They will have information on their website if they really want to get a hold of you.
Your vehicle warranty, I promise, will not be... Yeah. You'll still be fine.
Or if your bank is really trying to get a hold of you, I promise you they have a secure messaging platform on their website. Every bank that I do work with, I don't do work with banks, that I use has a messaging platform built into their website and or app. Mm-hmm. It is usually a secure messaging system. That way they can send you information that they will probably not send you via email. So just it's never urgent if they email you saying it's urgent. It's usually just phishing.
Yeah.
Like I said, don't reuse passwords.
That's the one takeaway today.
Yeah, so along with the don't use passwords, use a password manager. 1Password is my preferred choice. I have a family plan with that, so we share passwords, but we also have individual passwords. It makes our life so much easier. I don't have to ask my wife, Melissa, hey, do you have the password to the bank, or do you have the password to an airline, or just random things. We'll share the pizza place login, things like that.
The important ones.
Well, we don't need to have the 2 logins for the same website if we don't, if it's like pizza or something like that, or the bank. Just make it the same one, and then you can share it with both of you, and you both have access to it. I could not recommend 1Password enough. It's really great, super secure.
Not sponsored. Just love it.
I wish it was sponsored. I would take a free year of 1Password. Phone-based phishing uses hacked databases too. So if someone randomly calls you and tries to use personal information against you or financial information against you based on information they got from a database that they hacked into, helps them sound more believable, but it also makes it easier for you to fall for the scam over the phone.
And I will say, there's another one that from listening to a podcast, I was listening to Rowan Farrow's, one of his news podcasts, whatever, and he was talking about some that were, you know how you always get those things that's like, press stop if you don't want to receive these anymore. Like if it's like something random, like, and you're just
don't press stop.
Yeah, don't hit stop and hit send, because then that's just telling them, like,
you exist.
Number one, you exist, but it also, it can go so much deeper than that. This specific thing, when he did stop, it was like some kind of software or whatever that ended up being to where they could track him or where his phone was and where he was going. So it's that kind of stuff. I don't hit stop anymore. Once I listen to that podcast, I literally just hit it as a block number now. I just block it automatically. Don't get it anymore. So that's another thing that you need to think about as well. It's like, would you want to keep, hearing weather or whatever? And you're like, no, gosh, get away. Just block it. Just block it.
Yeah, just block the number. Yeah. No place is going to call you and tell you that they need specific information from you. And if you don't give it to them, that, something bad is going to happen. It doesn't happen. That's not how the world works anymore. Do not fall for that. If someone calls you and tells you, if you don't give us $50,000 now, we're going to, I don't know, steal your kids or something. That's not real, but just if it sounds weird on the phone, if you're just not sure, just hang up. Like, there's no harm in hanging up on somebody. They'll probably move on to the next person, unless you sounded real interested. Just unfortunately, in today's world, you have to be suspicious of every type of communication you receive.
Don't be suspicious.
You have to be suspicious of every kind of communication that you have, whether it's email, a phone call, a text message. You really just have to keep your eye out. Just
be smart. That's what it is.
I like to. You can say be smart, but it's not always easy to be smart. Because based on what I've said today, you can be smart all you want, but they have so much information that it makes it hard to be smart all the time. Even if you are smart, there's a good chance you can get taken if you are not suspicious of everything, every kind of random communication that you receive. Always doubt. what you're being told. If it's from somebody you don't know, because there's a good chance someone's just trying to get something from you, which is sad, but that is how scammers work nowadays, and it is very prevalent because it is so easy to get your information from so many different places. Just be careful. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you've said it all.
All right, so that has been Geeking Out Ninjas for the week of August 2nd, because I had to look up
the first week of August.
The first week of August. Mm-hmm. Like, subscribe. Let us know how you what you did and didn't like. Mm-hmm. We want to hear everything. If you have ideas for future episodes, or
I really would love for you and Jeremiah to do one about the dark web, because I honestly have no idea about it, and I just find it interesting. I don't know. I find it interesting.
There are a lot of topics that we do want to talk about in the future. Dark web's probably one of them. We want to talk about quantum computing.
Yes.
Does not have anything to do with Ant-Man in the quantum universe, I promise. Or the quantum realm. I took that to the MCU. It's fine. There are some really cool technological developments out there, as well as bad things like the dark web. Mm-hmm. And we want to talk about it, but it's not always easy to fit it into our regular lives, since we both have regular jobs, and this is kind of just a side thing.
Maybe you could do like a special episode, the dark web.
Makes it sound like we're 60 Minutes or something.
Yeah, exactly.
On this special episode of 60 Minutes.
Yes, the dark web. No, but then you don't do stuff about the news. Maybe it's a special episode.
We could do that. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah.
I think your fans want to know that.
And
being as I am your biggest fan.
The biggest fan. She listens every week.
I do.
She may be the only person that listens every week. Who knows?
It's not true.
We don't know. So, until next time, I'm signing out.
See you later.
Ta-ta.